There is a level of discipline that doesn't just improve your life. It erases the old version of you completely. And when people see it, they don't feel inspired. They feel uncomfortable, because your consistency becomes proof that their excuses were never real. Today, I'm going to show you how to reach that level. Not with motivation, not with hype, but with a system so brutal in its simplicity that once it begins, it becomes almost impossible to stop. But I'll warn you now, this is not for people who want results. This is for people who want transformation. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Man Who Always Restarted. The story starts with a man named Hiroshi. Hiroshi was capable, smart, driven. Everyone around him thought he had potential. But Hiroshi had one curse. He was a professional beginner. Every Monday, new routine, new gym plan, new productivity system, new life, and every Friday, it collapsed. Not because he didn't know what to do, but because his mind always found a way out. He would tell himself, "I'll start again tomorrow." And tomorrow became next week. Next week became next month. And slowly, Hiroshi became someone who tried, but never became someone who was. Until one night something happened. He saw an old friend from university. Same age, same background, but completely different presence. Calm, sharp, unshakable. Hiroshi asked him, "How are you so consistent?" The friend smiled and said, "I stopped relying on discipline." Hiroshi frowned. "What do you mean?" And the friend answered, "I built something that removes choice." That sentence changed everything.
Chapter 2. The Rule of No Choice. A few weeks later, Hiroshi traveled to Kyoto, Japan. Not for vacation, not for tourism, for answers. There was a small temple outside the city, where monks followed a practice older than memory. Not intense, not extreme, just unbroken. Every morning, same hour, same movement, same silence. Hiroshi asked the head monk, "How do you stay consistent for decades?" The monk looked at him and said, "Because we do not decide." Hiroshi didn't understand. The monk continued, "The moment you decide, you open the door to negotiation." Chapter 3. The Identity Lock. When Hiroshi returned home, he made a decision that scared him. He wrote down one statement. "I am the type of man who trains every day, no matter what." Not, "I will try," not, "I want to," not, "I hope." He signed it. And then he did something uncomfortable. He sent it to 5 people. Friends, family, people who would remember. Not for attention, for pressure. Because when something becomes public, your brain stops treating failure like a small event and starts treating it like loss of identity. Hiroshi didn't want motivation. He wanted a point of no return. And now, it existed. Chapter 4. The Fixed Hour. The next step was even more important. Hiroshi chose 1 hour. Not the perfect hour, the unavoidable hour. 6 a.m. every day. No flexibility, because flexibility is where habits go to die. Every time you ask, "Should I do it now or later?" you burn mental energy. You create debate. You create escape routes. But when the time is fixed, there is no debate. The bell rings. You move. The first week was painful. His body resisted. His mind screamed, "This is too much." But then, something changed. Day 10, he woke up before the alarm. Day 15, his feet touched the floor automatically. Not because he became strong, but because the pattern became real. Time was no longer a variable. Chapter 5. The Same Ritual. But Hiroshi noticed something. Even at 6 a.m., his brain still negotiated. Not about when, but about what. Should I stretch today? Maybe I'll just walk. Maybe I'll skip weights. So he removed variety completely. One ritual, every day, 10 push-ups, 10 minutes of silence, 10 pages of reading. Same order, same sequence, same structure. People said, "That's boring." Good. Boring is what makes it unstoppable, because boredom removes emotion, and emotion is what destroys consistency. By day 40, he wasn't forcing himself anymore. He was simply executing, like brushing teeth, like breathing. Chapter 6. No 0 days. Then life attacked. He got sick. Work exploded. Travel. Family events. The old Hiroshi would have used that as permission to collapse. But the monks taught him one rule: no 0 days. On the worst day, do the smallest version. 1 push-up, 1 minute, 1 page. Because the goal isn't intensity, the goal is continuity. A river does not stop being a river because it becomes small. It stops being a river when it breaks. Hiroshi did push-ups in hotel bathrooms. He read on airplanes. He sat in silence in parking lots. Nothing was perfect, but nothing stopped. Chapter 7. The point where people change around you. By day 80, people started noticing, not because Hiroshi talked about it, but because his presence changed. He was sharper, calmer, harder to shake. A coworker said, "You're becoming intense." A friend joked, "You're obsessed." Hiroshi smiled, because that's the sign. When your discipline makes others uncomfortable, it's because it exposes what they avoid. Normal people want you to stay normal, because your transformation reminds them they could have done it too, but they didn't. Final message: the unbreakable identity. Hiroshi finished day 90, but the real victory wasn't the habit, it was the identity. He wasn't someone who tried, he was someone who does. And that is the real system. Public declaration, fixed hour, same ritual, no 0 days, pre-decided responses. Not motivation, not inspiration, just inevitability. So the question is simple: what part of you needs to die so the unbreakable version can be born? If you want to start, comment one habit you will make non-optional. And remember, consistency that scares others is consistency that changes everything.